two deals for two players who are shining at the World Cup. The first one, we know, exclusive news, out of nowhere, now almost 4 weeks ago, is already done, medical completed, 110 million euros for two players. So while we have the transfer news, the updates, the here we go, the exclusive stories, all the stories around, there is the World Cup ongoing. Maxence Lacroix, contacts continue between Chelsea and people involved. Again, I told you, Chelsea are not only on Lacroix, there are more defenders, because Chelsea might sign two centre-backs in this summer transfer window, not only one, based on outgoings. There is interest for Chalobah and more options for more players. So in case of exits, Chelsea can sign two centre-backs in this window. Maxence Lacroix is a player they want. So Lacroix deal behind the scenes is ongoing. Talks ongoing, approach is being made, and Chelsea want him.
Fascinating situation that's happening right now with reports that Victor Osimhen could be moving to Chelsea this summer. I don't actually know what's going to happen with Victor Osimhen. Also, remember we've told you that despite previous interest from a number of clubs, Chelsea have remained firmly in the race for the striker. Now, Sky Italy are reporting that Chelsea have been given encouragement in their pursuit of Victor Osimhen, with talks continuing over a potential deal. It'll be a move that Chelsea hope can be completed before the remaining transfer deadlines, and they've still got time to get this sorted. Chelsea do have a need to strengthen up front as well, and it's thought they'd like Victor Osimhen to lead the line for them this season. So it could be that Victor Osimhen applies his trade in the Premier League this campaign. And certainly Chelsea are one of the clubs pushing hardest to make that happen. As things stand, discussions continue behind the scenes, and there's growing belief that a deal can be found. Victor Osimhen remains one of the most talked about names in the transfer market, and Chelsea. So it could be that Victor Osimhen plies his trade in the Turkish league this season, but certainly it won't be with you across that story as it develops throughout the day here on Sky Sports News.
Good point there on Potter and how this is the antithesis of how he usually works. How difficult is it to integrate so many new players, especially given the position Chelsea are in the league?
Look, if Chelsea can get Victor Osimhen for around £85 million, I don't think that's a problem at all. In today's market, when you're talking about one of the best strikers in world football, that's the sort of fee you're expecting to pay. Chelsea have spent years looking for a proper number 9. We've spoken about it on this show so many times. They've had good players, talented players, but they've not really had that elite centre-forward who guarantees goals every single season. When I watch Osimhen, I see a striker who can score all types of goals. He can run in behind. He's brilliant in the air. He's aggressive. Defenders don't enjoy playing against him. That's what Chelsea have been missing. People will focus on the £85 million, but what's the price of goals? What's the price of a striker who can get you 25 or 30 goals in a season? Those players are incredibly difficult to find. When one becomes available, top clubs have to be in the conversation. I actually think he'd suit the Premier League. Sometimes we talk about whether a player can adapt, but Osimhen's got the pace, the power and the personality for English.
OK, let's get to a potential injury concern for England then. And Declan Rice was seen leaving last night's draw against Ghana with strapping on his left calf. For the very latest, let's cross live to Boston and join our chief correspondent, Kaveh Solko. Lovely to see you, Kaveh. Look, let's talk about it then. How concerned do you think Thomas Tuchel will be about this?
I think he'll definitely be concerned. Look, what we found out over the last couple of days is Declan Rice himself admitting that he hasn't been 100% fit really all year. He said that he's been managing a slight hamstring injury and also issues with his lower back since the start of the year, and he said that was kept quiet by Arsenal because, of course, Arsenal always want to keep injury news about their players confidential, but it is something that he's spoken about. Now, we know after the first game against Croatia, he was substituted towards the end of the first half as a precaution because obviously Thomas Tuchel knew that he had this slight hamstring issue. And then yesterday he played the whole game, but we did see him making his way through the mix zone with strapping around his left calf. So that is another slight problem for Thomas Tuchel to have to deal with. Having said all that, England do have other players who can play in Declan Rice's position, especially with all due respect against Panama, and especially in a game where England need just a point to be 100% sure of progressing to the knockout stages.
Cucurella going to Real Madrid out of nowhere has blown the left-back market wide open and really does show that Man United do need to move quickly if they want Lewis Hall, with Chelsea now looking to bring him back to Chelsea. We'll talk about that, of course, but also a bit of a boost around Tchouaméni because Enzo Fernandez is liking posts on Real Madrid again, forcing a move out of Chelsea. Real Madrid expected to move on him. ESPN Brazil talking about it as well. If Enzo Fernandez goes to Real Madrid, at some point they've got to start selling players, and we're right at the front of the queue for Tchouaméni. I'm not writing that one off at all. And I think it's interesting tonight. Let us know your thoughts, because I think, you know what, if I'm being completely honest, it is Toxic Sunday. People have got work tomorrow. They get a bit pissed off. They get a bit toxic. I could have just started this show like this. Oh my God, Cucurella's gone to Real Madrid. Chelsea are going to get Lewis Hall. Wilcox is rubbish. Barada's a prat. Oh, it's all going to go wrong. It's all so negative at Manchester United. We're going to mess this up. Oh, we've done it again. We're stuck with Luke Shaw. Delo will be playing left back as well. It's the beginning of the end. Ineos are terrible. Lewis Hall's going to go to Chelsea. Oh, it's all terrible. That might happen. That might happen, right? That could happen. But I actually see a positive in this. As we've seen with Matheus Fernandes, because there is other clubs interested, it's been like Man United have trod on a thorn. You know, normally United plodding through the forest of a transfer going, we'll get there in the end. But because other clubs have come in, we've trod on a thorn and gone, oh shit, we've got to get me out. And we're trying to get the deal done quickly. And I think with Lewis Hall and Cucurella, the best thing that can happen is that Chelsea do move for him. And I think they will. I think Chelsea will move for Lewis Hall. Absolutely. But I think this is good for us because I think Newcastle's ideal scenario is probably to keep him. Well, if there's competition for him, and look, what I'm hoping, and this might sound a little bit strange on Lewis Hall, but what I'm hoping, I will talk about Tchouaméni in a minute. Somebody in the chat's going, Tchouaméni, I'd rather talk about that. But I think the Lewis Hall thing's relevant. I think the best scenario, sometimes the best scenario is the risk, you know? If you think about it, it's a draw. There's 2 minutes to go. Do you keep the ball in your own half or do you try and win the game? And I think that Man United, we should always try and win the game. And I think that the risk, I would rather Chelsea approach Newcastle tomorrow and say, we want him, we're not going to take no for an answer. I would rather that happen. Man United just go, hello, we're here in the background, right? And then Lewis Hall says, I'm not fucking going to Chelsea. I'm not going back down to London. Fuck off. The price of a beer is ridiculous. I want to stay up here. I want to be in the north or Manchester, right? And then we've got the player. What we need is for Newcastle to go, yeah, we'll do some business. And Chelsea might be the people to open that door by going, you know what, we want him. And actually as well, we shouldn't be missing out to Chelsea. They've got no European football at all. We have got Champions League football. What we can offer Lewis Hall is left back for Manchester United for the next 5 years, hopefully in Europe, at Old Trafford, you'll get in your England team back. You go to Chelsea, no Champions League football, playing in a back five, probably, no guarantees. So I think we offer a better opportunity to Lewis Hall than Chelsea do. And I'm not for 1 minute pretending that Man United are back. You know, Man United are the demons of the transfer window. You know, we're like bloody Alan Sugar FC in the boardroom. I don't think that's the case.